Well, this lawsuit's about to destroy the streamer's life the way he knows it, as it's likely going to become the most expensive thing he's ever gone through. So meet Jack Doherty, once a cringe YouTube kid who literally stalked creators to their own homes for content.
I want them to come out so freaking badly.
Now, I guess he just harasses random people in public for his own content, and whenever these randoms stand up for themselves, he hides behind his own security guard.
What? Well, probably gonna do. What you gonna do?
I will never not see Jack as Randall from Recess here, as the stance and attitude is just identical. But one of his security guards, in combination with his own actions, have now landed him in one of the worst situations possible to be in as a creator, being sued. And not only by the victim, but also his own insurance company is suing him for this lawsuit as well. So this whole situation, it dates back to the Halloween party in 2023. And while most people have seen the viral clip of Jack's bodyguard just sucker punching this random guy, not too many people saw the context of the clip from Jack's stream. Because if you just simply jump back about 2 minutes before the sucker punch, you see Jack and one of the guys arguing about a comment Jack made about Corinna Koff, who I believe was hosting the party. It's still a little bit unclear because I'm seeing some sources claiming that she was hosting the party and other sources saying that it was David Dobrik's party. Either way, it seems like it was a Vlog Squad Halloween party. And the victim and his friend were arguing with Jack about something he said on his live stream about Corinna.
Hey, but you know Corinna lit.
She is lit.
Yeah, so don't talk, you can't talk.
It's not talking shit. It's more of a joke, but like,
Wait,
I call everyone an raw
Wait, you about
you can't take everything so seriously. We're live streaming. Like,
yeah, I'm just saying. It's all good. Like I understand.
know.
But you can't talk that shit. Well, she's making racks. She making
obviously.
Racks. Yeah, racks. Okay.
Racks.
So don't be throwing that shit.
Man, listen, bro. What we doing, bro?
What we doing?
No, I'm just saying.
What are we doing?
Dude, you made somebody upset.
That's what I'm saying, man. Why are you here?
Hold on. What we doing?
Yeah.
What we doing?
What are we doing? Hey, yo. We fight. Us two versus you two. All right, go. I'm running.
Okay, so that gives us a little bit more context. Two of Corinna's friends started talking to Jack because he was being disrespectful for her and that he should be more respectful to her because she is making racks. That doesn't have to make sense because what Jack and his bodyguard did either way is extremely wrong. Because at this point, they're just kind of yapping at each other. Who cares? The situation isn't really a big deal. All Jack had to do was walk away. But that's not what profits Jack. Jack wants to have as big of a commotion as possible to monetize it via his live stream because he just is one big attention funnel, which then leads into his OF businesses. And that becomes very obvious after all this happened. But then Jack's bodyguard shows up and says, "What's up?" And Jack says, "We're fighting them. You two versus us." And then he runs. In the lawsuit, they're using that against Jack. And that makes sense because just a few minutes later, the sucker punch happened, which just seemed to come out of nowhere.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, you said what you said. You keep repeating.
That's all I'm saying.
So now, what's the next step?
Now, you want to suck my what? Like, where are we getting? You're bro.
Damn.
Call me bro. No, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. Appreciate you. Don't care.
I love how Jack always takes the lower road in almost every single altercation I see him in. It's like he's actively making the decision to come off as bad as possible. That in itself almost seems like a talent because you really have to try hard to come across as bad as what Jack Doherty does.
All right, then walk then. Go do your thing.
All right, ready? On the count of three. On the count of three, we walk this way. You guys walk this way.
It's cool, Shay. It's cool, man. It's cool.
One.
Hey, Shay. Go ahead.
You never started walking.
Hey, Jay, it's cool.
It's cool.
I mean, it's just a bunch of drunk people arguing, but nothing that deserves a punch. And I'm showing you guys all of this to give everyone a picture of how random the sucker punch really was.
I'm staying right here. Now Jay's on me. I'm just saying, what? I'm just saying.
You talking to me? Are you saying about me?
I'm just saying. You just say you're walking down the hill. I'm just saying you're walking down the hill.
I hear you, bro.
Hey, are you mad at me?
Wait, now you want
to talk about me then? Yeah, even. I don't see someone talking.
Just because I'm at a party and I don't want to talk to you, you say that.
No. That's not what it was.
That's literally what it was.
Okay, wait.
I literally got sent a clip in the middle of a party.
Oh, really? W Clippers.
No, I'm at a party. I don't want to be on stream.
I'm just saying, walk.
Wait, chill. No. Yo, just back up. Just stop.
I'm just saying, y'all say
just stop. Tell him stop. Trust me.
Yeah, stopped it there for obvious reasons. As you can see, that was not self-defense. That was a sucker punch. Then to make things worse, he's not even defending his client. As you can see, his client is standing safely right over there. The punch is here, Jack's over here. He's not defending his client here. And that's what the side of the victim who was sucker punched is using in court, as Jack is being sued by them for assault, battery, negligence, and emotional distress. And what's also really not helping Jack is he hired this bodyguard, Kane, when the exact same thing happened just 4 years prior to this event. So Jack hired Kane when Kane has a past of literally punching people when he doesn't need to do so. And of course, to make things even worse for Jack, Jack used this moment to promote his stream, not to apologize or show any sort of sympathy. It was like, great, this happened. I'm now gonna promote it everywhere, but not before he ran off. So right after this happens, they run off. And then he goes on this like promotional tour of, look what just happened on my stream, guys. It's so disgusting. But Jack is either delusional or desperate, maybe both, as it now came out that he was trying to use his renter's insurance to pay for this lawsuit. This was not at his house. He was out of state. He was in California for a Halloween party, and he's somehow trying to use his renter's insurance to pay for this lawsuit? What? YouTuber Jack Doherty sued for not paying for Halloween KO. Wrong insurance, bud. In a new legal docs obtained by TMZ, State Farm says Jack is trying to use his renter's insurance policy to force the company to defend him in the litigation and possibly cough up any damages that might be owed. State Farm says that Jack is actually not covered here because not only does the policy not cover willful acts that cause bodily harm, he also posted a video of the fight on his social media pages and is using the footage as part of his business, which is also not covered under policy. What an idiot. For like every single action here, he's an idiot for trying to use his renter's insurance policy to cover this, and he's an idiot for using this to try to promote his business. As a result, State Farm is asking the judge to declare that they're not on the hook to defend him or pay out any money in the assault and battery suit. I'm trying to make sense of this though, because so he's trying to use his renter's insurance policy here, but from everything I've seen, he was not hosting this party. This was not on his property, from what I know. So is this just one massive reach by him, or does everyone have the story wrong and he was actually the host of this party? Something's definitely not adding up here, but I could also just be giving him way too much of a benefit of a doubt because he just might not be thinking that rationally. Either way, it just doesn't make sense. But to be fair, a lot of his other antics just do not make sense whatsoever. So at least he's consistent. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens from all this, because right after it happened, he was talking such a big game saying, oh, this is nothing. This isn't even going to affect him. Meanwhile, he's now trying to use his renter's insurance policy to cover this. That doesn't sound like a move from someone who's saying, oh, everything's fine. That sounds like someone who's scrambling for a Hail Mary. I will definitely be covering the updates of the story. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.